Visible Welding is pleased to present a series of video presentations covering the WeldWatch EDU Weld tutoring system, which was developed with major funding by the U.S. Navy through the NSRP program. In this last video, we hear from some of the instructors who have used the WeldWatch EDU system as they discuss their experiences as well as look into the future of video in weld training.
My name is Rod Bobbin. I'm a weld instructor at Bollinger Shipyard in Lockport. I've been an instructor for 5.5 years.
My name is Emmett Boudreau. I'm the vocational instructor at Bollinger Shipyard in Lockport. I've been there for the past 40 years.
Well, they came in and they set the machine themselves. We went over with them what had to be done and everything. They ran some beads. It pinpointed to them how they were holding the angle, the distance of the nozzle that they were holding. It showed them how to set themselves, reset themselves, what they were doing right and what they were doing wrong. It showed them the different amperage that they were running, why was explained to them they were running a high amperage or a low amperage.
Back when I started out, it was a lot more difficult. I mean, there was no instant replay as far as seeing exactly what was taking place. It was making a bead, and then if the instructor wasn't around to actually witness the actual bead itself, I mean, he had to spend time one-on-one with you, where he could come back. Now with this machine, you can come back and replay the actual same weld and see exactly what's happening, the volts, amperage, arc length, and what's taking place actually during the welding process.
Well, what we did was, as they were welding, they seen the position that they were holding. They seen the turning of the nozzle. They seen how the nozzle should be straight. They seen the distance that they should hold for the wire as they're welding. In time, they did learn to pick it up, and they did do better while watching the machine.
Looking at the amperage especially, you can tell if he's changing the arc length by the amperage going up or going down. You can tell how the arc length is how he's holding his whip or the stick rod or MIG gun or TIG torch. I mean, it works for all the processes.
A lot of it was explained to them about the short circuit, was the reason for it, was the outcome for it, what we expect to look for. Some of them did good jobs. Some of them went back and replayed it and correct their mistakes by looking back at what they were seeing. They passed that first process with us through Short Arc.
Well, we had two trainees that didn't have any welding experience, and came in and within a week, about a week of working with them, they were from no experience to being able to pass an actual welding tacker's test.
They were comfortable with it because I feel like this is something, the age that they need to know, at the age of the upcoming of the years, that's something they do, they play around with videos and everything, and it gives them an idea and a pinpoint. At the same time, enjoying what's going on, they're learning as they're enjoying what they're seeing. Most
of the younger kids, younger generation, has some type of computer experience, whether video games or computer use in high schools and stuff like that. So it made they advanced on it pretty quickly. And everything being more compact, controls are more or less right there available for your use, ease of use. And I'm sure in the future somewhere you'll be able to do this online and in remote areas, or and send it over to the instructor for criticism and you know, what am I doing wrong, what am I doing correctly, you know, looking at the overall technique pretty much.
Yes, I do find the controls will lay out logical ways.
It frees up the instructor for training with other guys, but getting them set up with the machine once they were familiar with the controls, with today's technology. Plus also what you're looking at is also a savings in training materials as far as having to use a lot of material. You're capable of running a bead and recording, making corrections, adjustments, and seeing exactly what's taking place, and then performing another weld as compared to just welding and having to do brake tests.
The only thing I'd use differently, I like a water screen, something to where the camera would be water to where you could see more into the welding instead of starting and then coming into the welding. Something water where you could see from point A to point B from start to finish.
The larger monitor would definitely be a plus in instructing multiple students, full class, or even being able to project it onto a larger screen as far as for instructional purposes. As far as being actually in the shop, on the shop floor, this works fine the way it is set up now. Yes, actually you're able to see the actual weld puddle a lot more clearly than you actually see it in the helmet, you know, where you see the fluidity of the metal. But it's more, you're able to zoom in and see the exact puddle and see exactly what's happening inside the puddle. Yeah, actually, when you don't realize how violent the actual weld puddle is, when you're looking at it, even through the weld helmet, you're seeing the puddle, but you're not seeing it in that much detail as through what the camera sees. Well, as in welding, everything progresses, so you're never at a point where you really stop learning. There's always new technologies and everything coming out.